Zach, it is so exciting to chat with you again. I am so excited to talk about the conclusion to this truly epic story that you have laid out.
Awesome.
Well, first, I want to start with this is something we talked a little bit about last time is that this film feels both totally timeless and totally timely at the same time. I'm curious at the conclusion of this, what maybe you're trying to talk about here with the by starting with historical references, like contemporary references and futuristic references about the cycles of fascism and how we fight it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that people always ask me, have asked me, like, is there like, are you trying to comment on, politics of the present day with this? And I'm like, well, the truth is the movie takes so long to make that there's no, like, you have to kind of, rely on more historical reference than, say, anything that's happening maybe in the news right this second, because it's just a time thing, because these movies are like, like watching grass grow. They don't happen overnight. So yeah, I just felt like the idea of this village, that is completely sort of self-sufficient and very sort of isolated and really not a threat to anyone, really kind of the opposite, this kind of nurturing culture that they represent, and combine, and so that it allowed our bad guys to really represent, they're coming with no agenda other than to destroy, and I think that was really essential to me from the beginning, because I really wasn't interested in creating like moral ambiguity between the bad guys and the good guys. That's not really a thing in this movie. You really do have a clear opponent. I wasn't trying to go like, oh, but Noble's sad because, whatever, I don't know. I just was like, no, like, we don't need to do that. I mean, look, he's charismatic, and he's very, he does have a point of view, and he is a soldier on a mission. And so in that way, you could say that he is the product of his command, but he's also a psycho. So there's no, I'm not that worried about him. And Ed does an amazing job with it. It is also, I mean, when you see the director's cuts, I think it'll be interesting to see, because there's an amazing like 20-minute opening sequence that isn't in movie one at all, where you really sort of see Ed in this destroyed world where he's kind of like right out of the box, you see him at his worst possible, way worse than he is in anything he does in this movie. And the reason I did it was because I wanted us, when we go to the village, I wanted there to be, the audience knows, even if once you've seen that scene and you go to this idyllic village, you know that that's coming. And you know that it's not good. And there's no way, there's nothing they can do to like negotiate or be part of it or anything like that. Like, I wanted to make sure that everyone understood that there's no solution. Like, it's naive to assume that, we can have a partnership, and I think that was important to me. Yeah, sorry about the rant.
It creates that sort of Hitchcock. No. It creates kind of that Hitchcockian bomb under the table, right?
Correct.
When he
100%,
arrives and everybody's
100%.
trying, and there's just absolutely no hope.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that's really interesting, especially the fact that it is. I think it's a statement that even though you weren't timing it to come out now, that it remains a timely story is an interesting statement.
That just shows you how cyclical and how kind of like, the world that we are constantly on a treadmill with this stuff is insane.
Amazing. Well, I will say, speaking of continuing stories, I do feel like you left a little room at the end for a continued.
Yeah, I did. I guess that's true. There's a little bit of There's a little real estate left out there. I mean, look, the truth is Belisarius is still in charge back on the mother world. And there's another element that's in play. So, who knows?
Do you see yourself returning to this world, or do you feel like you've told all the stories you want to tell here?
No, we absolutely could do some more, make some more Rebel Moon movies if that was in the offing. Absolutely.
Amazing. If you were to kind of maybe break out a story and because I feel like each of your characters have these very rich backstories that we just barely got to touch. Is there a character that you would like to maybe center sort of a side story about?
Well, I mean, we did those, and we've had incredible success with the Blood Axe comics that have really, they're in their like third printing now, and everyone's just like going nuts for them, which I think is really great. We're starting to, which is awesome at this point, we're just starting up a Nemesis backstory comic because Duna's character is so amazing. Yeah, so we're gonna really sort of explore her time from, after the loss of her family to like where we find her and like what happened to her in the sort of interim. It's like been like 2 years of her just knocking around being like insane. So that'll be fun. But yeah, and also we had talked about Belisarius TV show, the sort of rise of Belisarius and like his humble roots to now, regent of the mother world. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there that we could mess around with if we felt like it.
Very cool. I'm going to put my thumb on the scale for a Tarek backstory just because I want to see more of that world.
Oh, love it. Love it. Don't do it.
In the end, I feel like the thing that I came away with was that that obviously cycles of fascism, which we touched on, but there's also this sort of thread of hope and the way that real change can come when people come together and form these sort of found families and push back about what is wrong. Do you think that even though you didn't time it for now, that there is an important message that we can take away from this in 2024?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the cast and you sort of look at their backgrounds, they're all very diverse. They're all like from these completely disparate, like cultural sort of origins, but they all find this common ground in hope and in the sort of like, they all are on a redemption story. They've all like, look, everyone's like got their own baggage, that their own trauma. And I feel like the thing is that they're not judged there. They're completely accepted for who they are. And they're also completely, their skill set, what they have to offer is like incredibly valuable and valued. And I think that's I think that's one of the important things for me is that each of them and each member of the village for that matter is just valued for who they are and valued for what they offer. And I think that's just super important that we all understand that we have our part to play and that we are valued for what we have to offer, and regardless of what that is. And that's a big part of it.
I love that. It's such a beautiful counterpoint to sort of the philosophy of the Imperium.
Yes, 100%. Which is you're a cog and you do as you're told and shut the F up.
Right. The individuality is celebrated. I love that. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. This has been so much fun. And thank you for making such a beautiful film. Well, a duo of films.
Yep.
I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm really hoping maybe we'll see more of this world soon.
Okay, cheers. Thank you.